Hello, everybody. This is Ron, and welcome back to Dork Points. And I have another great special video game countdown for you. It's Obscure Video Games Spotlight, starting with Among the Sleep. Yeah, this one didn't hear about it, didn't know what it was. I picked it up because it was on sale for like $3.99. It is really weird. I wouldn't call it a horror game, but it is downright creepy. You play as a little child, kind of in your own nightmare fantasy world, and I guess you could call it a walking simulator, kind of, because there's a little bit of puzzle solving, but for the most part, the game is basically just exploratory, and you kind of have to just figure your way around through this weird nightmare maze of a child's dream. I really enjoyed it. I played the heck out of it all the way through. It's not for everyone, that's for sure, but I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the weird, dark ambience of it. It's not really scary. There are very mild scary moments. But it's intense, and it's kind of freaky, and the story is really dark and interesting as well. It's a different perspective, and you have a little glowing teddy bear also, who is there to help you and give you advice, and he kind of talks to you, so that kind of evens the game out. But yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of bizarre, creepy environments. It just reminds me of a nightmare or a dream. But again, it is mostly exploring and just figuring your way through this nightmare or dream. And there's one or two jump scares, and that's about it. So I liked it. There you go, Among the Sleep. All right, moving on to Beautiful Desolation. Isn't that a beautiful cutscene? This game has beautiful cutscenes. This game is beautiful to look at. Yeah, it's really high quality, but it is kind of old school. It harkens back to almost that era of like Flashback. Does anybody remember Flashback? It's kind of a top-down flashback game where you have to go from one area to another, find a key card or a piece of a ship, and gather it to move the story forward. Unfortunately, just not my kind of game. The visuals are remind me of like some of those old school 80s sci-fi paintings, and also like very George Lucas-y and 80s-ish in general. Your character's got a mullet. Yeah, really well-made game, but you know, I played about as much as I can.
Yo, brethren, wagwan.
Some people are gonna love this thing, though. And it might be you. So, there you go. Alright, Get Even. What is Get Even? It's hard to describe. It's a shooter. They sell it as a shooter, and you can get it in the PlayStation. If you have PlayStation Extra, it's free to play right now. So go and try it out, but it's a lot more than just a weird sci-fi shooter. You have a cool gun that looks around corners and stuff, and that's really cool. And there's a bunch of missions that are very stealthy, and you gotta move around and take people out throughout these office buildings. But the majority of the game takes place in this asylum, so the shooting element is very secondary, which I did not expect, and it kind of disappointed me. in a major way. So mostly you're trying to solve the story of yourself, to figure out kind of who you are, and there's all sorts of weird dreamlike things going on in the background. You're being led around by some kind of guy on a screen who's telling you to do things, and clearly you don't have your memory or nor the full story, which I don't know. It's a really cool environment. Look at this. It's yeah, it's got a dark, wonderful sci-fi feel to it, but at no point, because you don't know what is happening in the story, at no point does the story hook you, or can it hook you. I mean, when you get to the twist, I'm sure it will hook you then, but when is that going to be? Is that going to be at the absolute end of the game? I don't know. I mean, I played the game for, I would say, 5 to 6 hours at least, and really cool visuals again here that you can see. But yeah, just waiting for the story to give me something, and it's basically you're playing a mystery, and yeah, the shooting is really secondary, unfortunately. All right, moving on to Rad. I don't know how obscure this game really is.
It wasn't much of a surprise.
We'll be quiet for a second.
I mean, from what I hear, the ancients kind of had it coming. When the MX-1s came and spread the fall out, most things were toast. But after that is when things got really weird. By the time the second...
So, Rad is a top-down roguelike where all the levels are procedurally generated. Every time you come back to them, it has kind of a gungeon. If anybody's played the gungeon, it's very much that style, where you get through a level and you get a lot of weapons and stuff, and you can save at that point, but as soon as you go to the next level, if you die in it, the whole game starts over. So you have to build yourself up, and you have to know how the game is played in order to do it. I am not a big fan of these. I did enjoy Gungeon for what it was. I think I got to the 3rd level, and I got to the end of the 2nd randomly generated level in this game, and I enjoyed it, but as far as replayability, unless you're just naturally good at these games, or this is right up your alley, it's a big wall to climb. It's a big commitment to say, I'm going to play 5 levels perfectly. Alright, and now for Project Warlock. Oh my god! I was so excited. So excited to play this game. It's retro, and I don't know if you guys remember me raving about Ion Fury. So as soon as I finished Ion Fury, I found this game. I actually found it while I was playing Ion Fury, just because I was looking stuff up online, and I was like, oh my god, look at this old school game, this is going to be great. And it is pretty cool and fun to play, but it is also, just like Ion Fury, it is extremely hard. I would say it's much harder. And it's almost like a roguelike, because you have to beat the 3 levels of each chapter in order to, like, save. So if you don't beat the 3 levels, you just start over. Alright, Rico. This one is another really obscure one that I didn't hear about at all.
San Amaro, the poster child for the American dream. A city where any street criminal can become a kingpin, and every meth head is an entrepreneur. The city is in the thrall of the biggest spring.
Alright, so that's a I gave you a little cinematic there, but really there's not much to talk about here. It is a chapter by chapter or scene by scene kind of also kind of randomly generated where the people are going to be, but basically they give you a building and they send you in, and in each room there's a series of bad guys, and you got to go from room to room and clear them out. So it's got a cool look to it, kind of like 13, the original 13 game, which I really dig. And it looks like it was built for split screen or online multiplayer, because I think you can play up to 4 guys, or you can do 2-player split screen, which is the reason I bought it. I bought it to play with a friend, but I haven't had that opportunity yet. And playing it solo as a single person, you know, I hate to say it, but you play a couple levels and you've played the game. The scenes change, the buildings change, there's lots of stuff to do in this game, but this is the game. This is all it is. So it's fun, and I love the slowdown and the shooting and stuff like that. But yeah, this is all it is. All right, Jupiter and Mars. Again, I'm not sure how obscure these games are. These are games that I just came across, and most of them were on sale, but I had no idea what they were. So I just kind of picked them up and was partially disappointed with about half of them, as you can tell by my review so far. But Jupiter and Mars I got for my daughter. I thought she would love it. I thought it was going to be 2-player because it says you play as 2 dolphins, but you are a single person controlling 2 dolphins on the screen, and you move them around like Echo the Dolphin. It also has a very Abzu feel to it, but I would say Abzu is the better game and controls a little better. Those controls are difficult to learn, but at least they're kind of fun and rewarding. Anyway, the pizza delivery boy who saved the world. This was a special little treat from our old friends at Rataleka, but Jake, of all people, or maybe it was Chris, one of them turned me onto it, and then Jake bought it, and he played a little bit of it and said he didn't dig it, but these are weirdly my kind of games. These FMVs, these playable movies where you move through them. I loved Rataleka's scheming through the zombie apocalypse. It was really fun. This game has a little bit of a cheaper feel to it. You can tell it was made by a very small team. I think the guy who acts as the pizza delivery boy down in the corner, I think he actually made this whole game. But it's fun. And it's got a good sense of humor, and the story is fun. It's a total playthrough time of maybe 3 hours at most. It's a short, tight game, also fairly easy to platinum if you make the right choices. Yeah, overall, I would say this is really fun, and I think I have a soft spot for FMVs or playable movies like this. But again, the sense of humor and the writing saved this game, because this could have been a real slog. But good job, guys. Way to go. All right, game over. I love that. Yeah, see, good sense of humor. All right, moving on to Megaton Rainfall. This one was super obscure. I only found 1 or 2 videos of other people playing it. Oh, here we go.
What would you think if I told you that in your universe there are only 2 intelligent civilizations? Would you be sad?
So the narrator has a very godlike thing going on there, but it's basically a Superman story, and it's a first-person Superman game. Basically, you have the powers of Superman. You can shoot lasers out of your hands, and you get better, more different... I'm saying English bad right now, but you know what I'm saying. You get different powers as you go on. But the idea is that you're sent from another planet as the savior of this planet, and you kind of float over these big cities that are situated in basically otherwise an empty world. And you use your powers to thwart an alien invasion. And there's all these alien ships coming down trying to destroy the city. And you get a damage meter. And if too much damage happens to the city, that's how you fail. There's no damage on you because, you know, you're Superman. But you have to prevent as much damage as you can. And I gotta say, I dug it. I like the idea. It's really different. But as the game goes on, the difficulty level just isn't rewarding, and all the different challenges and levels are basically the same. You get some different ships and different powers, but that's about it. It burnt me out pretty quick. Megaton Rainfall. Alright, and the final treat of the night, and this is a treat, and oh my god. If you have not played this game, my friend Pedro, Blood, Bullets, and Bananas, This game is so satisfying and so much fun. And I'm not a big fan of Hotline Miami or anything like that, but this game had the right balance of difficulty and, it's got a cool bullet time and spinning effects and all this different stuff that you'll see here as I play through it. But there's something really satisfying about it, and usually these games frustrate me and make me want to quit. This one did not do that at all. Again, yes, as it goes on, there are some hard, almost close to impossible levels, but if you use the bullet time and you think of each level as it's almost laid out like a gun puzzle or a bullet puzzle, and they give you all the skills to pull off each room as you go through them. You just have to kind of know what you're doing. Also, of course, there's difficulty settings too, but I saw this game and it looked really cool, but I had just tried playing Hotline Miami 1 and 2, and I think I got 3 levels into Hotline Miami, and I couldn't beat the first level in Hotline Miami 2. I know, it's sad. I'm sad. So I was very much discouraged, and then I saw a few videos about it, and then as I started to play it, I realized, oh my god, this game is great, and very playable, and very replayable, and very fun. And do not be discouraged by the looks of it, because it's worth it. I know it looks hard, but get it. Oh my god, if you have not played this game or heard of it, My Friend Pedro, amazing. Alright, there you go. Dork points fully earned. That's all for now. Obscure Game Spotlight. Good night!